Alright, here we go. This is a custom 1v1 on Duel between Carbon Player in that for left-hand corner, Lethalpoison, and the God the Helix with those absurd pink flower petals. And did you see them just sitting still there? There was a lot of flower petals like being surrounded by that, or surrounding that Helix with its rotors. And the his opponent will be the green team, the green player in the bottom right. It is going to be YellowSavior in the Tomcat Striker. Pretty standard builds going down. I did not notice if no abilities getting thrown down by YellowSavior quite yet, but we do have Lethalpoison with level 1 missiles. And mines getting finished off, or getting set off by YellowSavior. The mine's not getting set off by Lethalpoison, which is a little interesting to see, but it is probably going to be okay for him. And we do have Lethalpoison now socketing at the forward. YellowSavior going with creep defense first on the close. Duel, such a precise map. A lot of people play Duel quite a lot, and it has kind of gotten to the point where you kind of can consider it at the like RTS build timing kind of style. Where we do have our YellowSavior going with an artillery first style here, opening with a lot of AA, so Lethalpoison will not really be able to do too much defense or too much harass, and Lethalpoison almost getting actually killed by YellowSavior on the way back there. But Lethalpoison looks like he is going with a tank opening instead. So YellowSavior mixing that pretty well. Actually, does go with Longhorn to kill this front Longhorn sitting over here. Lethalpoison coming in from the side. YellowPoison coming in from the bottom. Did I say YellowPoison? YellowSavior coming in from the bottom, and actually he is sending a lot of tanks from his close, so we can start getting a position, or a unit line here at the bottom. And Lethalpoison now finally starting to come in from the side. Has a pretty good unit composition, I would say. And oh, has the goalie been finished off? I guess he did kill the goalie on that top area. YellowSavior has not even touched his as he is approaching from the bottom. But look at this line over here. Not really that approachable by Lethalpoison. Oh, almost getting finished off in the air actually. And YellowSavior now pointing his artillery toward this unit cluster, but he already has a jammer down, so Lethalpoison will be fine. YellowSavior also putting down a jammer. So he will be fine as well. Pretty good unit cluster by both sides, except no artillery down by Lethalpoison, although he does have a jammer down, and YellowSavior also has a jammer down, so it's not really going to be that big of a deal to have any artillery because both sides have... Oh, well, okay, now he is already starting his artillery fight, so it's going to be a pretty mirrored battle here. And already some healing units out in the form of honeypots, very, very strong by YellowSavior. And so this is a very interesting fight here. They're fighting kind of around mid, kind of on the bottom side. They aren't really fighting for this outpost. They're just fighting next to the outpost, which is a little bit hilarious to see. YellowSavior a little bit further from his closest outpost than Lethalpoison is, and Lethalpoison trying to kill. Oh, I don't know. Maybe he was going to go for that goalie. It was kind of strange, but YellowSavior making a very, very, very stable line of units over here. However, a few of them do get finished off by the artillery, which is a little bit interesting to see. I don't know why the jammer hasn't been able to deflect it far enough. So I mean, it does depend on the target that the artillery is going for. So that's something you have to consider. That's if you make such a wide line here. One of these front units is going to be the target of the artillery firing in, most likely, and you do have to very carefully consider what you have down on the field and where you do have it. No, we do have a tech pod out, jammed by not jammed, but blocked by a jammer on the minimap. So yeah, YellowSavior will not be able to really see that. And does YellowSavior even have any tech units? No, he doesn't even have any high-tier units. It does look like Lethalpoison does. Oh, man, he has a Devastator. Oh, man, he's coming out with a Devastator. I didn't even notice that was in his loadout, but he has a Devastator coming out on the field 5 seconds away, so that's going to be crazy. And actually, YellowSavior is kind of losing this battle. Mostly artillery up for him. A lot of his tanks have been pulled back, and it's just going to be an artillery war for YellowSavior at this point. But let's see how Lethalpoison decides to use this Devastator. Does now start to ferry it out. Going to go for the middle outpost. Okay, that definitely will be able to do the job and do all the work for Lethalpoison. Oh man, he's just queuing up Devastators. Pretty crazy. The YellowSavior now with quite a lot of Longhorn down here. Let's see if he can... I don't know. This is a little bit interesting to see. YellowSavior is losing this artillery war. I mean, I guess it's because of the positioning of the jammers versus the artillery. But another Devastator coming out of the field for Lethalpoison. Oh, and Lethalpoison actually set a bunch of sergeants down here. So he's gonna have a lot of creeps coming in. Wow, that's gonna be really, really. Oh, and YellowSavior already moving in. Does he even see that Devastator? That Devastator is just gonna be able to pick off all those Longhorn coming in. Oh, but the YellowSavior actually moving all the way in, all the way out. I don't know if you can really call it in or out, but he's setting them on why he's going in for the kill. Will he switch them to T? Probably is a good question. Lethalpoison setting one Devastator down. I don't know if that's really going to do anything, to be honest, at this point. Yes, all these Longhorn are still moving out. That's pretty much an all-in terms of all the tanks that YellowSavior had at that point. Lethalpoison now setting the 2 Devastators down he had at the fort, but YellowSavior, okay, and now is starting to just gonna go for the kill. Oh, and distracting these Devastators with his own mech presence, going behind them, forcing them to rotate, not getting great attack on these Longhorn, but the Longhorn are pretty thinned out. The Devastators will be able to finish them off. YellowSavior has been able to take control of this mid, but will he be able to hold it? There is not too much over here, and Lethalpoison does have the micro, or does have a Longhorn, or a Gemini actually, microed over here. And YellowSavior with pretty good positioning as well. Has a few more artillery and still okay, so he's kind of splitting Lethalpoison's attention. He has a few Longhorn, you know, a little bit of his army over here, has a little bit of his army over here, and I don't know if he'll be able to hold this middle outpost position. Now we do have the Devastator moving out for Lethalpoison. YellowSavior, oh man, really low in health, really needs to get away, does get away before he gets finished off. And Lethalpoison actually probably wasn't even aware that he was that low on health, but now Lethalpoison getting a pretty solid line here, or not solid line, but a solid footing here with that Devastator. And at this point, YellowSavior has to back off, 43 to 57, and honestly, it doesn't even look that close. YellowSavior has all of his upkeep pretty much concentrated right there, and now definitely has to pull back. Okay, Lethalpoison now moving out with the Devastator, not moving out, but now ferrying his Devastators over here. Is that the only, okay, though I guess those are the only 2 he has out on the field. Yes, according to the loadout counts, he does have, that's the only one that he does have. And now YellowSavior, really getting pushed back here, but will Lethalpoison effectively be able to use these Devastators? He could probably even just go in for the kill or switch to T at this point. This tech pod is kind of wide open, nothing really defending except for those level 4 creeps, you know, the starting level 4 creeps in those infantry slots. And now Lethalpoison has very firm control mid. YellowSavior pushing out once again. Now again distracting, trying to kill those artillery, but it's you know, this isn't really as much. It's about the same as last time, and Lethalpoison now setting up. Oh, doing a mass hold position. Oh man, who's gonna win this this cluster fight? And Lethalpoison, bringing up his Devastators and microing them away. I don't know if that's actually necessary. They were doing pretty well. YellowSavior actually doing a pretty good job distracting those Devastators, but does go down to one of the Devastators, taking quite a lot of fire. And 3 devs now on the field for Lethalpoison. Oh man, and Lethalpoison also goes down. The YellowSavior now going to be back to the fight, and probably going to start moving out again, and does just drop behind the Devastators to start to slash. Oh, he does finish 1 off, does finish 2 off with his Striker Sword, and the last one does go down. Oh man, the huge investment that Lethalpoison had out on the field has just completely been decimated. But oh man, this was a secret. I didn't even see this. A lot of tanks now moved out, but YellowSavior probably has this 4 Longhorn will definitely be enough to defend against that. And YellowSavior now has quite a lot of wow, it's actually been evened out here. YellowSavior has lost everything he has at this mid. And now Lethalpoison has been able to once again retake control of that middle outpost, and these those units are going to be dead. And what, 28 to 27, that's a lot of unit switching, or at least, I don't know, upkeep changing. Oh, whoa, what the hell? that Helix was having a seizure or something like that. Almost got himself killed in that abyss right there. But now, okay, mid-fight starting up once again. Oh, but YellowSavior now moving out the Longhorn he had in defense from his fort. And the timing could have been better. Maybe if he pushed up with the creeps, he would have been able to get the majority of these Gemini killed pretty quickly. But now starting to hold not mass hold position, but micro hold position them in place. And now going to drop behind those Gemini. Oh man, such a great technique to distract the fire, but almost getting finished off before he gets back to that right outpost. But does stay alive. Lethalpoison trying his best to keep his units alive. Wow, could carry two Gemini and a Ratchet. Level 9 Helix, and has level 3 carry, so that's pretty great. But now YellowSavior, it's a little bit hilarious. He's only spent 1 point into abilities, and that is for Striker Sword. Oh, and he did push out his Longhorn from his from his forward outpost as well. Oh man, this might actually win for him. 33 to 30 in favor of YellowSavior. 28 now, and YellowSavior's unit count is going up. Lethalpoison's unit count is going down. And now the YellowSavior has a pretty good surround on mid, has been able to clear the majority of the carbon units over here in this area. And yes, everything has been killed except for the artillery. Lethalpoison actually able to kill 1 or 2 Longhorns still. and the artillery still working their magic. But now YellowSavior does recognize that, starting to move his Longhorn up a little bit further. One more creep needs to go into that middle outpost for YellowSavior to bring out all 5 of those tanks, but no, does not get it. So he will not be able to bring out his Longhorn. And almost getting finished off here. Will he be able to survive this? Yes, he does, zigzagging all the way back to his close outpost, and now sending from his close outpost now all the Longhorn he had in queue and queuing up even more. That's exactly something that high tier players and even upper mid tier players are very, very good at. You need to queue as you bring out, or need to start building as you bring out of queue. And YellowSavior actually really low on health here. Oh, but not getting finished off by Lethalpoison's rockets. And oh man, does get finished off before he can actually get back to that close outpost. However, all of his tanks are coming now for this mid. Gemini versus Longhorn. The Longhorn will win. However, the Longhorn are coming in and moving, and the Gemini are all in defender's position. And YellowSavior once again moving out from his close with a lot of Longhorn. Man, that is a lot of pushing. It's not even a lot of pushing. It's just send, because kind of pushing kind of implies mass numbers and kind of trying to break something. But now YellowSavior actually able to kill quite a lot with the Striker Sword on the ground. Lethalpoison trying to get this finished once more on YellowSavior. YellowSavior does transform away before Lethalpoison can actually get that finish, but Lethalpoison can carry 3 Gemini with his at a time with his Helix now at this point. Level 11 with level 3 carry, quite a lot of carry capacity. And now YellowSavior just, man, this is quite a battle. Lots of micro and lots of sending, lots of moves. And now Lethalpoison still with a lot of Gemini, bringing Gemini down. YellowSavior getting finished off on the ground by Lethalpoison. And YellowSavior said, damn, glitched out. I'm not really sure what he actually meant by that. But all of his tanks have been finished off. Lethalpoison now sending, probably going to send on capture, as there's not really much left here at this right outpost. And now YellowSavior is back to the fight now. But will this push work? What does the YellowSavior have in queue? Just as a few Longhorns, this will probably be in Lethalpoison's favor. And yeah, there's a lot of Gemini over here. YellowSavior trying to get whatever he can killed, but I don't think it's going to be very successful at all. And yeah, YellowSavior getting killed one more time by Lethalpoison in the air. And Lethalpoison has a pretty good surround on this fort. I don't see a way back for YellowSavior at this point. 53-16, such a dramatic unit count advantage for Lethalpoison. And it does look like he can just send and move out, but Lethalpoison just going for the close now with with Fairy Gemini, and YellowSavior will probably be able to get this defense fairly well. Oh, sells his tech pod because I guess he doesn't want to go with grinders anymore. Yeah, that's his only tech unit, and yeah, it's probably not going to be that effective. Just going with Longhorn in defense at this point. He will be able to finish off the rest of the Gemini, but Lethalpoison not moving out yet. Kind of okay. Now he is moving out. I was about to say, like, he's very, very, he has a huge advantage, and if he wants to keep the advantage before YellowSavior is able to mount a defense, or at least a defensive line, defender's advantage can beat numbers. But is Lethalpoison going with a capture, or is he going with an attack? He is going for an attack. So YellowSavior needs to start defending at this fort. Lethalpoison dropping a couple Gemini to distract these Longhorn from firing, but YellowSavior actually has been able to kill quite a lot. And now is getting pretty, oh man, the YellowSavior is probably going to go down at this point. Oh, actually there are a lot of ratchets, to be honest. And once these Gemini hit this fort, YellowSavior will be free to slash without too much worry of getting killed by those Gemini. And the health isn't going down as fast as as you kind of would expect it to with these kind of numbers. And the Gemini going to be wrecked by this AOE. And I think YellowSavior will be able to successfully defend against this. But Lethalpoison is still pumping out more and more Gemini. It is a full build queue of Gemini, and not quite setting out yet, but YellowSavior has quite a lot of Longhorn here, so he can mount a pretty good counter push once the last Gemini are finished off, trying to get that kill on Lethalpoison, which would have been pretty huge. But lots of Longhorn, and now he is going with the counter push. Is he going for attack, or is he going for capture? That is the big question here. And where Client struggling to keep up here, and Lethalpoison again sending out. Oh man, I don't know if he was able to scout what YellowSavior sent out, but YellowSavior has the numbers. in terms of them moving units at this point. And but Lethal Poison did drop a couple in attack here, and YellowSavior really needs to start dropping in blocking position, but he will be able to retake this forward outpost. And now Lethal Poison again with more and more Gemini. This will probably be it. I don't see YellowSavior. His life is so low, and YellowSavior already calling the GG. And he was able to retake that forward outpost, but pushing all in was not able to really mount the kind of defense that he needed to be able to hold off, Lethal Poison just there. And that is it. YellowSavior going down to Lethal Poison. Lethal Poison able to take this custom 1v1 victory on Duel over YellowSavior. Wow, that was a lot of moves. That was a lot of pushing. Probably the most pushing I've ever seen in a 1v1. Pretty damn close, if not the most. Just send after send after send by YellowSavior. Didn't really decide to mass up and send. Just kind of wanted to keep on going, never let up. And that probably was the reason that he was able to keep Lethal Poison from getting a pretty good number of units to hold that mid. I guess it was kind of partly due to Lethal Poison going with the Devastator instead, and he wasn't able to keep them alive. Once you lose your Devastator, man, that's a lot. And he lost 3 in pretty much one sitting. And yeah, YellowSavior was able to kill off pretty much 150k minus 2,000 each Devastator, so what, like 144k, give or take. So yeah, it's a lot of cash that went down the drain for Lethal Poison. So losing those Devastators was, well, devastating. But you know, eventually Lethal Poison was able to take that middle outpost, you know, prevent YellowSavior's constant attacks from clearing out his units, was able to mass up a lot of Gemini, take that forward, and after that, it was pretty much his game, sending out everything he had, bringing YellowSavior's life pretty dang low. YellowSavior actually was able to move out also. If he sent out maybe half of those Longhorn, he might have been able to survive that, and who knows where the game would be at this point, but what's done is done. That is that. Lethal Poison getting this win over YellowSavior here on Duel. If you guys have any games like this that have that much movement back and forth, make sure to send them to me at ruizerx@gmail.com or RUI on Steam. You guys can always drop into the AirMech chat room. I'm always there. If you need to talk, you can add me on Steam. As long as you don't bother the crap out of me, I'll be okay with that. So, so yeah, if you have any questions, definitely let me know. This is RUI, and that is game. See you next time.